Welcome back to Spitballing Cards. In today's episode, we're talking all about Garbage Pail Kids, believe it or not. Never thought we would say that in 2024, but we are. And that's because the Garbage Pail Kids are super short prints in 2024 Bowman of specific rookies. Let me show you an example of what these look like. And I want to raise the question to you all, if these are cool, these are bad, like how are we feeling? So here is the Paul Skeens. To give you an example, Parroted Paul. This is already at $820 for a base refractor with 3 hours left, which is pretty crazy. Here are examples of the other ones. Here's a Jackson Churio going down the slide, which is actually pretty cool because it's a feature at the ballpark where he plays, which is cool. That's Jackpot Jackson going down the slide. We also have, sorry, I did highest to lowest. Max Elevation for Max Clark. We have Chopped Wood for James Wood. Captain Walker for Walker Jenkins, and so forth. Artisty Ellie. So what are our thoughts? Do we like these? Hate these? Jeff, I feel like you have an opinion that you should share.
I like the idea of Churio going down the slide, but I'd rather see a picture of it. Hollywood Garbage Pail Kids. This brings me back to when I was a kid, and I know I've told this story before, but I used to collect Garbage Pail Kids with kids in my neighborhood, and we'd trade them, and my mom caught us trading them on the front stoop of our house. And from that moment forward, forbid any Garbage Pail Kids. I appreciate for these that they didn't go for the gross factor like they do predominantly with the Garbage Pail Kids, even the recent Sapphire releases that they have. So they're getting a little bit away from that and just trying to do clever play on names, it seems like, or something to do with how they actually play or where they play. So that's all right. I don't know. It's not for me, but I see that it's popular or they're selling for high prices. So it must be popular with some in the sports card community.
This is pretty cool. This is Ethan Sala's first Bowman Chrome with Ethan Sala's Garbage Pail Kid face pushing through over his other face. That's kind of cool. Maybe it's not cool. Here's Jason Dominguez as the Martian. That's his nickname. Planting a flag on the Martian with you. Like, I was coming into this video ready to be kind of negative. I think these are pretty cool. And Topps has done a horrendous job. Can say fanatics. People get mad we don't call them one way or the other. They're the same thing to us all. But Topps has done a really horrible job of making like downtown comparisons to what we see with Panini. Panini's just kicked their butt with these super short prints. I think these are a fun use of the like actual brands they have. And I think they did a good job. Actually, I don't know if I'd ever buy one, but like these are pretty cool. And if they are rare, I could see these becoming very, very popular. So what do you think, Ty?
I hate Garbage Pail Kids cards.
Okay.
So for those who don't know what Garbage Pail Kids even is, because not everybody might know what these are. They were basically, my understanding, they were created in the 80s as sort of a countercultural response to Cabbage Patch Kids.
Exactly.
So Cabbage Patch Kids, it's like the Precious Little Moments dolls and all this sort of campy stuff, right? Big cheeked, baby dolls and everything like that. So as was popular with the emerging punk rock and subsequent grunge rock sort of countercultural attitude in the 80s and 90s, here comes Garbage Pail Kids, making a lot of word plays, which I am a fan of, alliteration and rhyming and things like that. There's a clever factor to them. The infamous atom bomb, Adam, ADAM. These are all, there's a clever aspect to them, but I'm not a big fan of grotesque humor, barfing, pooping, whatever things they've done in the past, worms crawling around in a brain. Like I like sports. I don't like weird, grotesque stuff. So I don't really understand it. Putting it into the product, I have the same attitude toward it that I do other things that I don't care about, which is, it's fine. It's probably smart by Topps, if I'm being honest, because it is culturally something that people who grew up collecting in the 80s seem to really like Garbage Pail Kids, if anything for the nostalgia of it, or because it was contraband at home with mom and dad. And so now they're older and like, hey, whatever. It does seem like these are cleverly done. They're actually thoughtfully done. Some of the things on them and the designs are pretty good, if I can say that. But I have negative interest in owning any of these. It's just not my cup of tea.
The more I look at these, the more I like them. But I understand your opinions, and like I wouldn't buy them because there's no player I care about. But I think they're kind of fun, and they aren't grotesque, which is nice. They're actually very specific to each team, and they've actually used an element that was thought out of the team and put it towards the cards, like the hovering holiday we saw with the Orioles. Where was it? That's pretty cool. You know, this little bird struggling to lift Jackson Holiday, just like Jackson Holiday struggling to lift his batting average. It's awesome. So I don't know. I think it's fun. Here's Marco Luciano getting sunburnt with Red Sox imprinted onto him. I don't know.
That's Marcelo Mayer.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I said Marco Luciano, Marcelo Mayer. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Marco, he's with the Mets, I think, right? But anywho, plus he is, anyways. So I like it. What do you think, Chris?
I don't hate these at all. I think they are kind of fun, like to look at. But similar to what you guys are saying, I won't be buying any of these. It seems like a weird. I will say, Jason Dominguez like committing murder on his is a little bit rough. But I mean, they may as well have put Verdugo's head in that helmet. But anyway, yeah, a little topical. But I just my only issue with these cards at all is that they're in a box, a hobby box that costs like $300 to rip. So I feel like these are geared towards kids, and they're extremely rare. When you would describe them as super short prints, I did sort of twitch a little bit. My brain says they're super short printed, but not super short prints. But I mean, that's a separate
and that's
argument.
fair. Like our definition has definitely changed in the last.
Yeah, I don't think these are oriented toward kids. I think these are oriented toward 45-year-olds who remember these from when they were kids. I think most kids today would be like, "What is that?"
I still have some from when I was a kid, and they are grotesque. Like my wife and I went through them like a couple months ago, and just because we have some friends that have the same name, so we gave them away as gifts. But they are like horrifying to look at.
Like, look how cool this.
I think these are fun. The prices seem a little bit crazy. There's just no Paul Skeens cards out there right now.
Yeah, that's the consequence of printing a player less, which we talk about as important to card values. If you have less cards, it matters. And so this is a prime example of Paul Skeens, which is exciting.
Update comes out. I want to say Topps update comes out in like a week. I think
what did
something
you think,
like that, right?
What did you think of them putting two pitchers who've already had their rookies in different sets as the cover box and like the actual cover art on the box and not Paul Skeens? I think that was a missed opportunity.
Is he not on? I didn't even see who's on the box.
Let's look at the box art. 2024 Topps update.
There seems to be a lot of disconnect with boxes this year for Topps. Juan Soto was on the box and didn't even have a card, so this doesn't surprise me.
Imanaga and
Yamamoto
are the two players, both of which already have a flagship rookie. So those have debuts. So, like it feels like a miss to me. But
yeah, like Jeff said, it fits. It fits with what Topps has been. But yeah, that box should be just Paul Skeens' mustache should be on that box. I mean, they used him in their Instagram post, kind of announcing the debut of it. There was his 89 Topps auto was in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, whatever.
Great.
Are you guys glad I'm showing these still?
Yeah,
I mean, I think these are interesting. They will find an audience, just like the anime Bowman Chromes found an audience.
I like these significantly more than the animes. I don't know why, but I think these are much more thought out and much more unique. I like these a lot more. The art is actually pretty fun and it's connected. This would be a fun set to put together because looking at all these cards side by side would be nice.
Pretty pricey.
Very pricey. But will the price slow down? There's 176 of them out there. I don't know if that's a lot or a little. I haven't paid attention to release prices. And this is
I would assume just as more stuff comes out, Bowman Chrome, all these prices will start to go down.
Like, look at this Big Apple Acuna. He's a Mets player with the Big Apple. Come on, that's pretty cool. He's a little worm. Anyways, all right, I'll stop sharing my screen.
So speaking of grotesque, like this is not even an old one. This is 2022. Topps put out Garbage Pail Kids in 2022. Like, it's like a baby hanging himself. Like I look at this card and I'm like, what? Why is this a good idea? Like in an era where suicide rates are higher than they've ever been, we're going to put out a card of somebody hanging themselves and with I don't know what that is on his face. It doesn't look.
I can't read the name, but the last name better be Carradine.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, Cliff.
Okay, I want to show
Cliffhanger.
one I just
And that
found.
card, by the way, sold for a whopping $13.20. So it doesn't seem
Oof,
like the market is particularly strong on that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they made Sapphire Garbage Pail Kids, didn't they?
Yeah, I mentioned that. That
That's
was
right.
that was the good purchase from the Montgomery Club. They were selling them for like $40, and I was able to flip mine for about $300.
Yeah.
They were popular.
Do you guys want to see another gross one, or are you not in the mood to see another gross
There's
one?
like one of a little girl like sitting in a cold tub, like with all these open pill bottles around her. Like, what the heck?
Nasal Hazel.
Like,
I don't know. Garbage Pail Kids, like, these are pretty gross. But some people, that's their childhood. And I think they did a good job with the baseball cards. So, I don't know.
okay.
I was
say baseball cards look good, but they're not. It seems like they should be for people like Jeff and I that grew up. Poor Jeff briefly having them. But yeah, these don't really do much for me.
Yeah. I think they're fun, but would I buy them? Probably not. Especially these prices. Definitely don't go out and buy these for the prices because you're speculating. Buy them.
I'll show you the crossover we all need, and that is a Star Wars and baseball.
Dude, we
crossover.
do need a Star Wars.
Like this one, and they make these awesome videos on Saber Stats of people just hitting moonshots with lightsabers. And what's not to like about this?
For those that don't know,
so
Jeff is actually a part of the Star Wars universe. He is canon. He was a voice actor in the Bad Batch. So I want to call that every time I talk about Star Wars, it's worth calling that out for Jeff. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
It's also, I think we should also point out that Ty, I don't think that is entirely impossible.
No,
because Fanatics recently acquired the rights, right, to like Pixar, Disney, and I think Marvel. I think they got all three. They're all under the Disney umbrella to make cards. So
this could be a sign of things to come.
Well, right. I mean, they already make regular.
Yeah.
So yeah, why not crossover?
Seems like an insert set just waiting to happen.
Agreed.
They also made a set back in the 90s, a crossover with football and Marvel in metal.
Oh, that's cool.
So 1997 metal, and then they had like Marvel. I don't know what let's see, 1997 metal, Marvel. There was like a Wolverine with so here's Spider-Man with Jerry Rice.
Are there PMGs in this year? I don't know football cards.
Not from this like set, there weren't, but
those have been cool.
They could make some cool stuff with that.
Yeah, I mean, to Chris's point, as Fanatics continues to consume all of these various IPs into their IP harem, I bet we're going to see some pretty crazy combos.
Yep. Wow. Excellent use of the word harem, by the way. That's not a word I would have expected to hear in a baseball card podcast.
That's card of the week. Go, Jeff. Word of the week. Forgive me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, today's word of the week. This week's word of the week. All right.
I'm gonna study some words so I can win word of the week one day. Just like work it in. Doesn't even make sense. Okay, Chris, you have one more thing before we end this episode.
Yes, we were just talking about Sapphire, so that reminded me. I was looking at Topps Chrome Sapphire Baseball. So we're back on baseball now. Only baseball players from this point on. The checklist is out, and there's something new on the Sapphire checklist that they have not done before. So let me just share my screen real quick because there is there's something on this that I am extremely excited for.
Man, you built up the tension as you're pulling this thing up. Holy cow.
Better be worth it.
It better be worth it.
Probably not be worth it.
Let's all bash it. No, that's not very cool.
Well,
we don't know what this is either. I don't. So I'm ready to bash it.
All right. Now that the suspense has we should just drop like 6 ads right in there too.
Let's just end the video right now.
That would actually be really funny.
Don't even say what it is.
All right. So here we go. I'm actually going to pull it up now. Which should come as for no one's surprise is that there are now image variations in Topps Chrome Sapphire. They had rookie image variations in Bowman Chrome Sapphire last year, but this is the first time we're getting just straight up image variations. And number one on the list, card number 1, is of course Ronald Acuna. I have been waiting for some Topps product to give us that like sort of wide shot image of Acuna holding up second base, having just become the first player to ever go 40-70. They have just not given it to us. There's some random highlights cards in Heritage, and there's a cropped version of it in that Acuna 40-70 insert set. But for whatever reason, it seemed like the most obvious SSP image of the entire season, and we haven't seen it yet. So this, to me, feels like maybe they're holding it back for Sapphire. So my eyes will be glued to eBay on Sapphire release day to see what card number 1 what the
And
image
it's
variation
probably
looks
just
like.
going to be him in a suit jacket.
That's almost certainly what it's going to be, Jeff. Some stupid close-up shot of him just like smiling. It's gonna make me angry, but I'm building up my anger as we go.
It's going to be this.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Well, it's got to be a shot from last year. That could be from this year, Ty, or for next year's flagship set.
So I actually heard something interesting, Chris, from somebody in my comments on Scotty B Cards talking about imagery, because I made a video on 5 things I'd change about Topps, one of which is pick good images, like plain and simple. And they said they think a lot of this comes down to them already using those images on Topps Now. So they view those images as used on the Topps Now cards. So they don't use them again. So there's a lot of like their thoughts are that Topps Now is what's ruining those images.
Yeah, I mean, tell me why that's not an SSP. I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. His flagship gold mirror was him holding up his necklace with his own image on it. Okay.
Hey,
But why wasn't this in Chrome? Why?
You can buy the rights to it, and LJ's cards can make you your own if they don't do it.
If it's not this card in Sapphire, my last hope is that it'll be his base card in Stadium Club, and then maybe we'll get on-card autos, because that might be a better version than an SSP. I don't know. I'd really rack my brain to trying to decide what I'd rather have.
We talk about images all the time, though, and it's just it never ceases to amaze me if you even just go to Getty Images and scroll how many good image options there are for like literally everyone.
Like,
and
look at that one on the right there where he's like, arms are up. You can read 4070 Club behind him. Why is that not on a card?
Yeah.
Even like this one's cool. There's a lot of cool ones. There's a lot of cool ones, but then they choose like this, and you're just like, why? Why is that the image?
Yeah, I mean, he does cool stuff on the field when he's playing. he definitely provides ample moments that are super photogenic and fun.
Thank you for watching. Please look forward to that. We'll see you in the next video.